Lads, this is the best day ever and I want to share it with you. Okay, so my Charlie absolutely loves McDonald's breakfasts. She just loves them. And I'm always saying no, healthy breakfast, healthy breakfast, healthy breakfast. Yesterday, my husband said, why don't you in the morning get up before she gets up, fly down to McDonald's, get her a breakfast and tell her there's a delivery for her. So we did do that. I went down to McDonald's and I'm at the machine where I order the McDonald's. And nobody comes to the monitor or whatever it is to take me order. So I'm waiting there now and I'm trying to show me patience and I'm being all patient. And then another guy drives over to the other monitor where he places his order. He places his order and he drives around the corner to collect it. I'm still waiting patiently. Another man comes along over to place his order. He notices that I haven't placed my order yet. And I hear him saying to the girl, I'm not skipping the queue. That girl hasn't ordered her food yet. And I'm after seeing someone else going ahead of her. Take her order first. So there's talking going on between them. Then my monitor comes on with a different girl and she's like, hello McDonald's, can I take your order please? And I said, listen, before we go any further, that gentleman over there is trying to encourage somebody in here to take my order. And I want to say thank you by purchasing his breakfast for him. I want to do a random act of kindness and pay it forward because he's being so gentlemanly. And she was like, oh, that's lovely. That's real sweet. Okay, no problem. We'll organise that for you. So he doesn't hear what I say. He goes around the corner and he collects his breakfast, or he tries to pay and he can't pay. All he was getting was a coffee. I didn't even know that. And I pay for his coffee and I pay for my breakfast. And he's flat out beeping, waving, giving it loads, right? And my heart just exploded with the human kindness and the care that gentleman had for me. And he doesn't know who I am. I've never met that man before. He pulls off a little bit and he gets out of his Jeep and he starts waving and jumping up and down and he's like, thanks very much. So I shout out the window, thanks so much for being a gentleman. I'm so grateful to you. So now my heart is exploding, his heart is exploding, the girl behind the counter's heart is exploding, all the staff at McDonald's are talking about it. And I drive away feeling like $1 million. I come home, I give Charlie the surprise of the McDonald's, we're eating at the table, I tell them the story about this man doing something so kind and beautiful for me, even though he didn't know me. And this is the point, we don't need to know each other to be able to do kind things. So I am delighted with my life. I go off to work this morning. I go up to Drogheda Connect Centre. I'm working with the local community, the women in the local community. And the first thing I do is tell them the story. And I'm like, so let's all just start being more kind and doing random acts of kindness and raising the vibration, and that this is how positive energy works. And the opposite is exactly where we have negative energy and we have the downward spiral, where this is the upward spiral. We have the best hour ever. The questions are amazing. The interaction is phenomenal. The women are making themselves really vulnerable. We're learning from each other. It's great. And then the end comes. And one of the participants says, thanks ever so much. That was brilliant. Happy Mother's Day. And she leaves the room and I thank her. She goes out to her car. She comes back. Massive bunch of flowers for me. I burst into tears. Look at it. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. I burst into tears, start crying. I'm hugging her. I'm like, oh my God, you're so good. And she says to me, you're worth it. I said to myself, isn't that just a beautiful thing to say to somebody? A beautiful thing to say to somebody. So then I go down to the shop, I'm buying me vegetables, the meat for the dinner, I'm buzzing off everybody in the shops. I meet a girl that I used to run with years ago. We're talking about the kids. She's telling me, you know, how confident her daughter is. The sun is splitting the rocks. Guys, if you are having a bad day, you have the control to be able to change that bad day, okay? If you're having a challenging day, get yourself out into the sunshine and do a random act of kindness for somebody. When you get, give. When you learn, teach. None of this has to cost money, by the way. You can do something. You can do an act of service for somebody else by just being kind. So, I wanted to raise the vibration today by sharing all of that news with you. And I want you to do it straight back. I want you to tell me what your good news story is of the day. And if you don't have one, create one. All right? Take it easy and have an absolutely deadly Wednesday. Slán.